Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming today. Thanks for coming from all over the nation today. People flew in from everywhere. Thanks so much. This is a big group. It's the largest group we've ever had here, I think. And it's incredibly important to us. This is one of the major ways that we are able to help stay on track with whatever is your priority, right? So it's really great for ProLink, and it's really great for you guys because you get to help us figure out what is the priority going forward.
Introduce yourself. There's new people.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm Sean McKenna. I'm the president of ProLink Solutions. I'm the oldest guy in the company at this point, I think, or just about. So, and it's something that's fun about me or different because I think we're going to do this later, and I want each person to tell who they are and who they're with, and then also what they do in their organization and what they do that's a little different or fun. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I spent a lot of time in prison, so that's a little different. Just before anybody gets too alarmed, I'm a volunteer for the Department of Corrections here, and I spend at least one day a month in Canyon City, and I love it. So with that, the other hugely important thing in my life is right around in this room. I'm going to let Bree go ahead and take this and have a great time and learn as much as you can and let us know, what the issues are and what we're doing right, and let's have a great conference. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was my whole thing.
Okay, guys. It's been a year since we've used a mic, so thank you guys for being here. I know most of you, I see many of you regularly in our monthly business review meetings for those of you who are using ProLink actively right now, and for our implementation clients who are going through the full effort of onboarding ProLink. It's great to see you after probably a little time where you've been with our implementation team, and we're so glad to have you here in this room with us. We're going to cover a lot of topics, a lot of strategic planning that we're doing with our roadmap and features coming. And I encourage you to get to know each other. We're going to do introductions so you have a sense of the different departments and representatives across our clients in the room. But this is such a great opportunity to make alliances and kind of have those people to call as you approach new things that you want to accomplish or consider, or establishing business best practice using ProLink. We really do encourage that. That's something that's I think unique and special to this group. So thank you so much for being here for that. I'm going to read off of my screen so I don't miss any of these housekeeping items just to kick us off. So let's see here. Wi-Fi instructions are right in front of you. There's a little tent card. So please let us know if you have any questions about joining Wi-Fi, but we do have that available for the duration of our conference. We've shared a conference map with you guys. If you need any instructions on how to get from either happy hours or dinner, many of the meals like lunch will all kind of congregate over there together. So you'll know where, if you didn't get breakfast this morning, you will then know where breakfast is served tomorrow. We have the snack bar that's right across from here that some of you might have noticed that will be refreshed throughout the day. And then tonight, our happy hour and dinner is all in-house tonight. Tomorrow night, we get to go out and have a little bit of a different scenery. We have 4 exciting sessions today. So for the first session, we're going to cover that with Brian Cohn, Andrea Beckley, Andrea O'Brien, and Jessica Britton and myself. Big kind of group for our welcome session. We'll be discussing our roadmap at a high level, user group, and some just general updates that we have about our company, some refresher information. It's a good time to kind of do some of that when we're all together. Then at 10:45, we'll cover shaping the future of the developer app with Nick Jacques, who's in the room too. And we'll introduce ourselves and our positions as well. Then we'll break for lunch at noon. We'll return at 1. We'll be covering compliance strategies and updates with Kelly Insinias and Andrea Beckley. And then our final session today is at 2:45. We'll be covering the Inspire project highlights and future plans. That'll be with Brian Cohn and Connor McKenna. And so that's it for the day 1. And then we'll go have fun for this evening. So I'll go ahead and skip us to the next slide. So for today, we'll do our welcome, which I've already kind of covered. We'll hand it off to Brian and his team to cover our roadmap and beyond, user group process and changes, feature review process, some help content resources that we want to keep you in mind. And sorry about the highlight, I should have fixed that. But customer success and adoption basically takes up the rest of our time. So I'm Bree Kruder. I'm the EVP for ProLink Solutions. So I oversee our sales and marketing and our customer success program. I describe myself as the relationship person with both, prospective clients of ours, industry partners that we have, relationships that we have, in our existing clients. So I really try to be that liaison between, ProLink and our resources and the industry, and trying to make sure that we continue to support this industry in the best possible way we can. So that's my role. And then Brian Cohn, want to stand up? Oh, my different thing. Oh, gosh. Well, I'm a mom of 2 toddlers right now, so my hobbies are very limited, and clearly I'm expecting another one. But I do, when I'm not pregnant, I like to horseback ride. I'm a big horse rider, and I started teaching my son at 3.5, and it's like, I can't wait till the kids are into that. So that's my thing. We have a community center in our neighborhood with a equestrian center, and I teach the 3 to 5-year-olds when I'm not pregnant.
That's enough.
So that's it. That's it. I love to horseback ride and do that whole thing. So Brian, I'll let you stand up and say hi.
All right, is this working?
It
Looks
is.
like it is. Okay, my name is Brian Cohn. I'm the Chief Technology Officer here at ProLink Solutions. I oversee all of our products and our strategic roadmaps. Something interesting about me, Sean just asked me this a second ago, so I'm not prepared. So how about I'm a Colorado native, and I'm into all the Colorado things. So rock climbing, snowboarding, you name it. That's what I do for fun.
Hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Britton. I probably talked to a good 90% of you in this room. I run the customer support side of ProLink. And I'm really not an interesting person. I really love to and enjoy like musicals and karaoke. So if you ever want to do karaoke, I'm like your girl. So yeah, I see you, Becky.
Can you tell us where you, because we know you're not all in Colorado.
Me and Brian are in Colorado.
Okay.
She's our first.
I'm actually in Florida. So
Yeah.
I know my pale skin would not really like say that I'm from Florida, but I am.
Andrea Beckley, senior product owner for HFA. Oh, sorry. I talk very soft. That's my thing. I'm actually from Missouri, and I said that right. Missouri.
I'm Andrea O'Brien, so you can just remember Andrea for any woman on the product team. I'm the senior technical writer for ProLink, so I do all the self-support content for product documentation and training materials. I live in Denver, and not very interesting mom of a 5-year-old, and so when I get time, I like to bake and watch the Great British Baking Show.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so we have a number of agencies represented in the room. I think it'd be great to kick off with just kind of understanding who's with us. ProLink people, when we get to you in the back, if you want to stand up and quickly share your position as well. So Erica, since I see you over there, hi, good morning. Do you mind starting us off? And I'll pass this mic around. It's kind of a small-ish room, but you might as well use it. Don't forget your fun thing about yourself.
Oh, tons of fun. Good morning, everyone. My name is Erica Ederling. I'm in the Compliance and Asset Management Department at Virginia Housing. A fun thing about me is I am an experimenter in the kitchen. For me to be a compliance person, I can't follow a recipe to save my life. I think I can always make it better. So when it works out, then great. If it doesn't, I have a story to tell.
Hi, I'm Catherine Spencer. I'm with the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. I'm a senior asset manager for them. Probably the most interesting part of me is my hair. I like basically goes through the rainbow throughout the year with different colors of my hair. So
Hello, I'm Kim Bly. I'm with Virginia Housing in the Compliance and Asset Management Department. And I work with Erica and I think there's something interesting. I don't think I have a lot of interesting stuff, but well, maybe my first office job was a summer intern at the CIA.
Hi, everyone. My name is Krista. I am at Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. The fun thing about me, I don't know if it's fun, but I'm renovating a house from the 1850s right now. It's a struggle, but it can also be interesting.
good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Wilson. I am the Director of Program Operations at the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. Well, Andrew, we can hang out because I'm a homemaker also. I actually bake for weddings and things like that. So, and I love the British baking show.
Put down, yep.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Olga Lugo. I'm from the New York City HCR office, and I'm an asset manager. Interesting about me. I'm just a home mom. I just like to sit watching TV, crime shows.
Hello, everyone. My name is Petty Lagande. I'm the Assistant VP at HCR, New York State HCR, Homes and Community Renewal. And I guess I'm a music, sports, New York sports, everything that's Giants, Knicks, whatever. And I enjoy movies and music.
Pretty happy this morning. Late last night.
Carmen Hendrickson, VP at New York State Homes and Community. Fun thing about me, I do interior design, and fashion, and film, anything fun.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elise. I also work for GHCR, but I'm in the upstate Albany office, an asset manager, and I also do our data management. And something fun about me, I'm a freelance makeup artist, so when I'm not collecting data, I'm doing faces.
Hello, Tim Kornikevich. I'm with the New York State UCR as well in the Buffalo office. I'm an asset manager. Interesting about me. I'm a father of one and expect another one in July, so keeping me busy right now and future busy.
Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Katie Whitehead. I'm with Kansas Housing. I'm the director of our Housing Compliance Department. And something interesting about me is I'm a mom of 3. And so my husband and I are very busy with our 3 children and sports and all those things.
Good morning. My name is Michael Baskerville. I'm a senior assistant administrator with Virginia Housing, and I work in a rental department, and I support the systems that our internal users use to do their work. A fun thing is I like to participate in karaoke, and I'm not proud.
Really embarrassing. My pants were soaking wet from golf this morning, which was really awesome. Thank you for that opportunity.
But I'm Stephanie Flanders. I'm the director of the tax credit program in Virginia. What's cool about me? I love to crochet, and that is really cool, right? If I look at what they tell me.
I'm Elena Henderson. I'm from Virginia Housing. I'm the business systems manager. So we deal with all the systems and rental and IT interfaces. Interesting thing, a lot of stress in my life. My youngest son got a learner's permit, and my oldest son had a baby.
Everything front side of the house. I implement our programs and all that in the system and handle a lot of tech support for stuff. Interesting thing about me is I curl, if you know what that is. And I'm very sad that the curling club, I believe, is closed for the season here in Denver. All right, I was stuck on my sweater was stuck in my life, and I am the data systems team manager at Oregon Housing. Gosh, the same thing about me. Maybe a love-hate relationship with bowling. I'm a bowler, and last month I did win a local tournament. Hence the love.
Hi, I'm Courtney England, and I'm on the ProLink team at Oregon Housing with these two, but I'm new and I have no idea what's going on. And an interesting thing, we've got 4 kids at home. I'm the most overcommitted person on the planet. I'm in a knitting club and a book club, and I host a board game night, and I'm the PTA president. We're gardening and we're doing a home renovation, and the kids are on a downhill ski racing team and gymnastics and theater. I'm tired.
Follow that. All right. Hi, everyone. Laura Lind with Idaho Housing and Finance. I've been with ProLink, I guess, like what was it, 17 or 18? So I was on the implementation team, and then I've continued to just kind of be a staff support for everyone there, as well as I do all of our administrative policy writing and work with HUD as a liaison for them. So on that side.
Interesting.
I've got 2 kids under 10, so they keep me pretty busy. I love the British baking show, but I like to watch, not try. There's no way that I'm making any of that.
I'm Mary Todd. I'm from Idaho Housing as well. I'm in the compliance department, and I also deal with the Section 8 vouchers as a backup. Interesting thing, I am a mad knitter, and I have 10 spinning wheels.
I'm Matt Pilot. I'm from Florida Housing Finance Corporation. I am the project management administrator. I don't use ProLink on a daily basis, but I lead all the projects where we use ProLink for various things within the office. I'm very eclectic in my interests, but everybody in Florida Housing knows that I am an Arkansas alumnus and a huge Razorback fan.
Hello, I'm Brittany Toomey. I'm the Housing Compliance Manager with Rhode Island Housing. I am a mom of an 11-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'm a football mom. So, yeah.
I'm Susan Howard from Rhode Island Housing. I'm the manager of multifamily financial assets at Rhode Island Housing. So Brittany's team handles the physical and file compliance, and we handle all the financial compliance in the loan agreements. So my thing is that I play pickleball like almost every single day, and sometimes twice a day. But right now, I just sprained my ankle, so I can't play.
Hi, I'm Megan Herrera. I'm tax credit program administrator for Colorado Housing and Finance Authority, CHFA. So welcome to our state. It's usually more sunny and pretty than this, so sorry about that. But and my thing is I'm a mom, karate mom, and Colorado native, so that makes me a big pro sports fan. Go Broncos, go Nuggets. So yeah, I'm kind of tired from the game last. Couldn't sleep very well after the game last night, so. Hi, I'm Dolita Monjarez. I'm with Colorado Housing and Finance Authority as well, Assistant Program Administrator for the Tax Credit Department. And interesting fact about me, side gig I do is home organization. And also I'm loving the second phase of life of having 3 adult children. It's interesting and different, but I'm loving it.
Need your card.
I'm Pablo Payan. I'm with Colorado Housing and Finance Authority as well. I'm a business system analyst, so I kind of do some of the ProLink stuff on the back end. So, interesting fact of me is I have a 24-year-old and a 3-year-old. So, got both ends of the spectrum. So.
Good morning, I'm Keenan Fonner. I'm with WIDA, Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority. I manage our risk team, so kind of similar to you. We do the financial piece of monitoring and reviewing financials. Something interesting about me, when I'm not financing housing, I'm on the sidelines coaching basketball and football generally.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Wildgat. I'm a manager on the multifamily compliance team for Wisconsin, WIDA. And something fun about me, I have a Jeep Wrangler and I love to take the top off and ride with the windows, well, with the doors off and music very loud.
Matt Case with the Wisconsin Housing Systems Analyst in IT. Interesting thing, on the other end of kids, we have 2 young adult children, so we are like recent empty nesters, and it's really nice for deciding we're going to have dinner. We don't have to like have 4 people agree on something. It's still the kids still cost money, so you don't get out of that. So, but yeah, very very happy. We do have an elderly dog that's our that does keep us home from the big trips, but otherwise enjoying life.
Hi. Okay. I'm Keen Marin. I'm the director of IT and PMO at WIDA with these guys. And interesting thing about me, I love to travel. This is my first time in Denver, and because of the weather and the rain and the clouds, I don't even know which way to look to see a mountain. So that way. Okay.
I'm Grace Suarez. I'm with WCDA, Wyoming Community Development Authority. I'm in allocations and development side. And interesting fact about me, I'm a little bit of a Jane of all trades. I've worked in the arts organization, social work, finance. I've owned my own business. I just have never ending curiosity. So that's probably my interesting.
I'm Charlie Smith. I'm with Maine Housing. I'm the business systems manager there. And fun thing about me, I play disc golf, I play chess. I recently won a chess tournament. So yeah.
I'm Connor McKenna. I'm Director of Product Strategy at ProLink from Colorado. Sorry, it's so rainy. I work on product strategy, MVPs, proof of concepts. I work a lot with the sales team, and I work on project management for our new Procore Inspect application. Something interesting about me is I do have a baby on the way as well, and I'm getting my PMBA, so I'm taking a lot of night classes right now.
Hi, I'm Kelly Encinas. I'm with ProLink Solutions. I'm a senior HFA product manager. I'm looking at my manager. I don't know my title. Interesting about me, probably, I love to cook. Like I love to cook. I don't know if I'm good at it. My kids say that I am, but maybe they're just saying that. So I still keep doing it. And then I love gardening. I love working in my yard. Connor and I've been talking a lot about that the past couple of days. So that's it for me.
Okay, I already introduced myself, so here you go.
Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm the new sales and marketing associate. So I'm very new. I've only been here for about a month or so. So you might start seeing my name a little bit more frequently. If you have any questions about anything, I am always happy to assist. Fun little fact about me is I drive a motorcycle. So if you drive a motorcycle and want to talk bikes, I'd love to talk with you.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Kim, VP of Professional Services at ProLink.
We manage a lot of new clients, so Pennsylvania, Maryland, it's good to have you here. Fun fact about me, I also spend time in prison with Sean, so just keeping you safe in prison.
Hi, my name is Joe Cherry. I am the senior consulting manager for the professional services team. He's my boss. Do what he tells me what to do. Fun fact is I actually have a degree in jazz guitar and I don't know the first thing about computers. So
Hi, my name is Scott Kern. I'm the Chief Information Officer at ProLink. Interesting fact, I guess, related is years ago, not anymore. I used to play in a band and toured all around the US, and even more interesting, I had long hair down to here. You can imagine that. And it kind of went away over the years.
Good morning. My name is Nick Schock. I work at ProLink as a senior product owner. I live here in Colorado, but originally from Maine. So Charlie, we'll have to get together and talk maple syrup and lobster rolls at some point. And interesting thing about me, my Colorado activity is whitewater rafting. I really enjoy that. I've knocked off a couple of bucket list trips already, but I'm still hoping to get on the Grand Canyon at some point. I'll just have to talk to BK about getting 3 weeks off in a row for that.
I'm Sam Gordon. I'm the marketing manager for ProLink. And an interesting thing about me, I've been a musician for like 15 years or something. So like half my life. So guitar and piano and like just music.
I know, we should be like it's open. Sean did bring a bunch of music equipment into the office. We did our break rooms. So I think there's some expectations for the future there. Okay, turn that one off. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's nice to know who's in the rooms. Good to get to know some things I didn't know about you guys either. I'm going to go ahead and just share our agenda for the next couple days with you. Here, let me make this bigger for myself. So I went over today. I'll just focus on tomorrow so you know. We start at 9 a.m., same schedule as today. So it sounds like golf happened. I'm shocked. They said, was it awesome? I'm so glad to hear that. So if you're in, and it was the driving range or was it okay? Not? That's awesome. Was anyone with you? That's awesome. So tomorrow, if you guys are interested, this hotel's kind of known for their golf. So to take advantage of an amenity, if you want to check it out, learn something about golf, it's one of those things that if you play, that's great. If you want to learn about it, this is a really welcoming place to do that. And they said even if it rains, they have indoor things that they could cover. So very casual. You're welcome to join tomorrow. I think they're going to focus on short game, chipping and putting. So that's happening at 8. Then 9 a.m. we start. You can see the sessions listed here. So I'm going to just skip to the next slide to keep us on schedule. But then tomorrow, after we conclude at 3:45, going on 4 p.m., we'll have a happy hour just on this main lobby level. And then we have a shuttle picking us up and taking us down the street to a place called Pindustry, which is like a billiards fun place to be. We'll have a casual night. So tonight's kind of our fancy client appreciation dinner. And tomorrow we're going to have tacos and just have fun at the Pindustry event. So that's the plan. Please let me know if you have any concerns or questions about the schedule. And you can see here are the times for those events coming up. You don't have to worry about leaving the hotel today since everything is in-house. Another thing that I think is just a good setting the table. We took this picture last year. Sorry, I didn't ask for your public. I think I probably said, can I get one for LinkedIn? So, but anyways, yeah, this is a picture from last year that we took. I think one of like 2 that we took at the conference. But just setting the tone and kind of reminding us of what the purpose of user group is. Our mission is free and equal exchange of ideas, experiences, and information within the HFA community and user group. Why participate? You truly have direct influence over our roadmap and prioritization. There's probably I mean, you guys are our first and foremost, I have to say. So we have ideas. We think they're good. There's not a single thing that we do without coming through you to really validate our direction with our products. So reviewing and contributing to feature ideas. We really want to make sure that we hit we do this right the first time as much as we can. So when we do get approached with feature ideas from one agency, we try as much as we can to socialize that across our full user group and make sure that this is something that really is well-rounded. And a lot of times the feedback we get from others influences that original idea, that original state that might have been interested in something new. You guys help us define business best practice for our users. So I think that's something kind of unique in being on a product that continues to evolve and add new functionality over time, is establishing a business best practice. And I think Virginia Housing might be one of the early, you guys are our first state. And so when we first did that project with Virginia, it was much more Virginia specific. And you guys are an example of, over the years, adopting functionality that has been brought into ProLinkHFA from other agencies who joined the user group following. So that's been a really beneficial thing. And then, of course, professional relationship development and collaboration. It's just great to see people. I know of people who call each other regularly through this group, and that's wonderful to see. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, I don't see any of my notes in here.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no notes. Do you need to redo it?
Maybe I'll just plug in.
Okay. Hold on just a second, guys. Brian's notes aren't showing up in this PowerPoint. Do you want me to unplug?
Yeah, it's that other. Is that the power?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was just the intro.
Okay. See your notes. You can see my notes.
Those are important.
Yeah, those are important notes.
Better.
No, it's not. Hold on. Okay, let's see if that works. How's that?
It's good. Just move that mic so people can hear you.
Okay. I'll just hold this close since I don't talk extremely loud. All right, so we're gonna talk about some of our roadmap stuff today. We've got a lot of great sessions in store over the next couple of days. We'll be brainstorming new features, enhancements from origination all the way through compliance. So hopefully you brought your thinking caps today and are ready to engage in some interesting conversations. But first, let's take a look back at what we've accomplished over the last year. Okay, so that's a busy slide, right? So 2024 into 2025 have been extremely busy for us. We worked on large initiatives, implementation enhancements, change requests, regulatory items, small and medium user group features, bugs, hot fixes, you name it. This is a screenshot of an internal system that we use to track all of these projects from large to small, and each of the items on this list actually has 10 to 20, sometimes 30 items below it. So a lot of work going on here. I just wanted to show this so that you can kind of see everything we've done over the last year for all of our products, but I actually couldn't zoom out far enough and fit it in and still read it. So imagine that this list goes down a few more pages. Needless to say, we've been trying to deliver as much functionality to our customers as fast as we can. So I want to highlight some of the items that we have worked on over the last year from that sea of projects that we just looked at. For Quorum Inspect, this has been a huge initiative for us. And the idea was actually born in this room about a year ago at our in-person user group. We had a collaborative brainstorming session on inspections and came up with some great ideas. We previously built out some Inspire functionality in ProLinkHFA, but we saw a need for an app where you can take pictures, record findings on a phone or a tablet, all without internet. Maybe you're in a rural area or a basement or something, you don't have good internet connection. So we wanted to make sure that we supported offline mode. We also wanted to make sure that we were ready. When you're ready, you can upload all of this data to your back office system, ProQuorum and ProLinkHFA, for reporting and analysis. We interviewed a lot of you in this room and your inspection users on what features they'd like to see. And fast forward to today, we're actually a couple of weeks away from releasing this to production and going live on the Apple and Google stores. So that's pretty exciting. We actually just got approval yesterday to go on Apple. We really appreciate all the feedback we've got from our beta testing group. This kind of has really shaped our first version of this product. And we're excited for y'all to be able to use this soon live on an inspection. Okay, so the next item I want to highlight is something that we started to hear about in 2023 and 2024, new regulatory change called HOTMA. We wanted to make sure we were ready to fully support the new guidelines as soon as they were mandated by HUD. So we started doing research. Andrea B started learning about the new rules. Then we started doing a bunch of design, got hard to work, built out all the new functionality for HOTMA. And then HUD pushed the dates back. So I think a couple times. I'm not sure what it is now. I think it's like July, maybe January next year. But we went back to the drawing board and we quickly added some new effective date functionality. So you can configure when you want to actually use HOTMA for your agency. As part of this change, we also implemented support for NAMA XML version 8. We are part of the NAMA XML working group. We update all the documentation. We maintain the schema definitions, and we host all this on our Quorum Work Center. So rest assured, whenever HOTMA does go live, we'll be ready. Okay, another highly requested feature that we added to ProQuorum is two-step verification. This actually just went live a month ago, and you can now require users associated to your account to enter a verification code upon login from either a text message or an email. Additionally, you can require users associated to your account to update their password every X number of days. So once their password expires, they'll have to update their password before being able to log into ProQuorum. And finally, we also have single sign-on that's available for your internal agency users. If you're interested in any of these features, reach out to Jessica and we'll get you set up. Okay, another feature that we worked on last year was re-implementing make a copy functionality in ProQuorum. This feature was kind of temporarily disabled due to some performance issues, but it's now back and available. With this feature, you can clone an entire work center in ProQuorum, including files, tasks, posts, collaborators, and it'll preserve all of the date time stamps for those items. And it'll copy it from the original work center into a new work center. This can be useful for open record request acts or other use cases. Okay, and then another very big improvement to ProQuorum was adding data views. Data views are so versatile in ProLinkHFA, being able to run ad hoc queries and reports that we decided to add that functionality to ProQuorum. We currently have 6 data views: files, tasks, posts, collaborators, work centers, and the recently added background processes, which is for admins. You can slice and dice your data, group, filter, choose columns, export to Excel and PDF. Has anyone here tried the new data views in ProQuorum yet? All right. Looks like we got some early adopters, so that's good. Hopefully it's giving you some insights into your data. Um, okay. And finally, I want to highlight the dynamic data views functionality that we added to ProLinkHFA. This was a large effort last year, and it was inspired from a user group request to make dev deal and TC deal dates less hard coded. We know every state's unique in how you manage and administer your programs, so user-defined fields is critical. Last year, we expanded the capability of configuring UDFs, increasing the number of dynamic tabs that can be set up from just one tab to a maximum of 10. And this isn't just for dev and TC deal, it's really for any page in the system that supports UDFs. We also gave more control over the layout of UDF fields on the screen. Has anyone here used this new functionality and expanded to more than one UDF tab? Okay, we have a couple people. Good. Well, hopefully you found it useful and you're building some creative screens for your agency.
Good.
Yeah, a little water. Okay, so not everything we worked on was large features. If you recall from the first slide of all those projects, a lot of time was also spent on small and medium features. So let's walk through a couple highlights from last year. In the tenant portal in Procorum, owner agents can now generate a tick PDF populated with all the data from a tenant event. Also in the tenant portal, users can now export an occupancy report to Excel, and it uses that same tenant event data. And so the report will calculate the occupancy rate, using the as of date that was used to generate that report. We also added an admin override priv. This will allow you to finalize a compliance review without having to evaluate first. So you don't have to send a ticket in to Jessica and have us do it for you. You can now do that yourself. So that was our customer support really like that. We also added a new capital needs assessment module to portfolio property. There's a new LIHTC date section that's been added to track your LURA and EUA and IRC and all the other dates that are associated to LIHTC. And then we also calculate the first and last place in service dates if you have multiple buildings on a property. So that could be useful to look at. And then finally, we added the ability to edit bin numbers in bulk on the list bin page in portfolio property.
That's a real quick question on that. Yeah. On that, number 2, the tenant event, I could see Excel report that export. Is that something that you can are you gonna like demo or show? Or is that something that
I don't know if we have anything showing that today, but we can set up something to show you how that works.
Okay. I just was curious where that.
Yeah. So there's a new section at the top of the screen in the tenant portal. If it's configured, you can put in a date, like an as of date. Okay. And it'll go look at all of the tenant events that have been entered and basically give you like a rent roll for that point in time. Okay. Export it to Excel.
But you have to have it configured to do that.
Yeah, you have to turn it on to.
You have to turn on.
Yeah, to turn it on.
Yep.
It's in HFA.
Right. Okay. There's a report in HFA to do the same. Okay. So yeah, if you're getting monthly updates of your tenant events, then you can just run this occupancy report and it gives you that percentage occupied as well. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of some of the things we've worked on over the past year, but what's in progress, what are we working on now and what's coming soon? There's a couple more things that we're wrapping up on the Procorum Inspect app. We're adding support for iPhone and Android phones. We're also doing some custom templates. Connor will be talking about that a little bit later today. We are also working on a developer application portal, some design to integrate into Procorum. We've had a couple meetings and interviews with some of you in this room, and Nick will be talking about that in the next session. We're also adding a HDF compliance module. This will be alongside Home and LIHTC, and Andrea will be talking about that a little bit later in the next session, or no, the one after lunch, I think. Yeah. We'll also be, she'll be reviewing the rent and income limit report that we're potentially adding to the tenant portal. We'll be doing some brainstorming on the NAMA XML and allowing partial imports. I know Elena's excited for that one. We'll also be looking at some preview docs for unit file reviews and unit sampling later tomorrow. We're going to be adding some more data points to our loan import utility later this year. We're also making some updates to portfolio property associations. So there's only a couple states that use this, but there are some updates coming to that. And then finally, we're adding some financial dashboards, and Ryan and Connor will be reviewing that later today. Or tomorrow, sorry. Let's see, what else? I think that's all that I have. Appreciate everyone coming to our user group. Look forward to a couple productive days of collaboration. And with that, Jessica, I think you're up next.
I think, yeah, let's see if I can swap it. I think,
Oh, okay.
I think I just needed to close it and open it.
We'll be performing at this point in the venture.
Okay.
Vanna. Jessica really can sing. Like, I'm not kidding you, she really can sing. So maybe she'll.
Not right now.
Okay, hold on. There we go.
I just hit enter.
You just hit, yep. And then actually, hold on just a second. All right, you're good.
Okay. So since I'm holding the mic, I'll try not to move my hands a lot so you can't like hear me over here. But so I'm going to be talking about the new process for user group, which all of you guys here are a part of. So welcome. Where did I? Okay, maybe. Oops.
Try,
Oh, yeah.
Try that.
There we go. So previously with user group, we did have like quarterly meetings where we would send out like a voting process. Things would be voted on, and then those things would go through the user group process. So to kind of add for additional possibilities of feature requests and to kind of combine ProLink monies with user group monies, we implemented a new process this year. So now, instead of having to go through the Procorum Work Center to add a feature idea request, kind of download that file, fill it out on Word, send it back into Procorum, we've implemented a online form that you can just fill out. That form then gets sent into Zendesk, and it can easily be reviewed on your Zendesk profile, which I'll go over. I know that is a question where you could see those. I'll go over that in a couple of slides. But so those can all be now a ticket in Zendesk. You can review it. It can be communicated back and forth between ProLink and the user who entered that item. Prior to the survey, our product team, as well as me, review all those submitted feature ideas, and then we'll decide which items will go on the surveys, whether that be our large item initiative survey or our small medium survey. Both are currently out there right now, so if you haven't responded, please do so. And the feature ideas chosen for an upcoming survey will receive a message within the Zendesk ticket letting the user know that their item has been added to the survey upcoming, so you can kind of be looking out for it. Just one little note, ProLink does reserve the right to prioritize or deprioritize features based on the need and urgency prior to a survey. And if there is a lack of interest on those surveys, we will remove it from future surveys.
Talk to you.
Yeah, we'll let you know though.
I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, we'll let you know why it won't be on future ones, things like that. So we do have 2 surveys that go out every year. One of them will be our large item initiative survey. Those are like those very big items. They can take 6 months to a year plus to kind of implement in the system. And those will be created and released to our clients once a year. This year we did release it after the HFAI conference in January. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback from that so far. And ProLink will determine if a user group meeting is needed to review those comments and based on the client feedback that we receive from you guys. The other one is our small medium survey. That will be created and released to our clients twice a year. The current first one was released middle of March, and we will be having another one in September. And again, 30 days for both of them. Once you've actually started giving comments, there'll be 30 days for you to kind of give comments. We've given a little bit of extra time this time around.
I would say at minimum, we'll do
Yeah.
one big one, two small to medium surveys. If we need your feedback before then, we might send another one out kind of thing. We just want to make sure we're regularly grooming those requests that come in.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who all is getting the survey? Like, is that determined at our, like, at a WIDA level of who is gonna get the survey, or like, how do you guys determine who gets?
So we initially send it out to like the user group mailing list that we have. And then we actually encourage you guys to send it out to your larger user base beyond the user group people. So the user group people are usually the people that are in this room here. And then you can send it out to all the people on your development team, all the people on your tax credit team, compliance team, because we want to hear from all of them. We send it out to I think our marketing list. So you may not get one if you specifically haven't filled it out. I believe your link won't allow you to fill it out again. Is that correct, Sam? Yes. Okay. Okay.
Oh, really? I really do. We can look at refining that down to narrowing it as time goes on. I think one of the things that we want to do too is sometimes we only get one response from one agency, we'll get 40 from another. So you might have filled it out, but are you sure you don't want to send it to any other friends of yours? And again, this isn't a voting thing. This is more of like a feedback. And we do learn things from different perspectives, who bring, who take the time to fill that survey out. But
Question.
Yes.
Will we have the ability to see other ideas that people have submitted or just our own? Because I think you said in the Zendesk, it's one-to-one.
Yeah, on Zendesk, you'll only be able to see your specific submitted ones. But when the survey comes out, those are the ones that were submitted by the entire grouping of people.
You don't give a lot of information. Is there a way for us to see the actual?
are people submitting?
It depends.
So we
Yeah.
can probably add more content to the.
We could look at adding, maybe saving those to a work center. Elena, that's good feedback. I think we could look at adding the completed form maybe to an area, either in Zendesk or on like the work center or user group work center to refer to more detail if you need it. Okay.
Yeah, from our experience, we're kind of debating how we should do that survey because in New York, we kind of got together with some of the users or the I guess quote unquote super users who use it, and then we got together and we went to see what we wanted to prioritize, and they suggested that everyone submit the same answers. But I wasn't sure if that was the correct way we should be doing it, or you should get different perspectives from different people.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's in our agencies submitting the same
feedback. Yeah.
Feedback. What was the purpose if we just gonna get like the same thing across the board?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely, if you want to send it out and maybe not, and I think you're saying you're having like a meeting internally and kind of all discussing the items. Is that what you're saying?
That's what we.
Yeah. I mean, definitely send it out. Maybe you don't need to have that meeting, or you can have one to kind of discuss what those items are to kind of give additional context on what they are, and then kind of allow those individuals to give their own personal feedback as well. So we can kind of get those diverse, like the diverse feedback from all of those different users in those different departments.
He should get, he sent an email to send it then.
But I did want to point out that to submit, to be included on the next survey of 2025, the feature idea due date is September 12th, 2025. So anything submitted after September 12th would have to be on the next survey, but anything prior to September 12th or on September 12th would be included in our next survey for 2025. This kind of goes over a few things we just discussed, that previously our surveys or voting was a single response from each agency. Now we've moved into a more away from a voting process to a ranking process that you guys are utilizing, kind of saying this is our number 1, 2, 3, and so on. And so we definitely want to encourage multiple responses because we do want to hear from a diverse group of users using HFA for different departments and use cases within the agency. Because that definitely helps us decide and look at those responses and see what things we want to move forward with and what things want to go into the feature preview status process. On those survey items, only the highest priority items will be considered for development and progress to feature preview status. And only items prioritized in the top 10 will be eligible for inclusion in subsequent surveys. And each item is allowed up to 2 placements across surveys. Any questions on that at all? Elena?
I put it back through. It didn't make it.
Yes. If it did not, and it was over and it's gone through the 2 times, if you really want to and feel like I really want to get, this on the user group, I want to get more feedback from, the rest of the user group, just enter a Zendesk ticket to us and we can add that to the next survey again. Okay. And then how to view your submitted requests. So I know we've gotten this question here and there. And one of those, because it is a separate brand within our Zendesk account, there is a separate website to go to that would require a different like a separate login. But once you log in there, it's at this website. I believe we'll be sending out a PDF of these of some sort. So you'll be able to get that link. But once you log in there, that's where you'll be able to see all of your Zendesk submitted feature idea items from the form. You'll be able to see your entire agencies. So anything from, say, Virginia submitted would be there. Any questions on that? And now I'll hand it off to Andrea Beckley. Off. I'm so too. I'm short. All right, can you hear me? Is it good? I'm an amateur. I had to bring my notes. All right. So once we identify the features to move forward with, either from the survey results or any regulatory changes, we start our design process and we create our mock-ups and detail requirements. Sometimes we'll even schedule meetings with you all, similar to what we did with like AIT and Inspire, to make sure we're on the right track with our design process. We also, I attend a lot of webinars and watch like Novogradac and Costello and look at their examples to make sure that I understand what we need to provide for you guys. Once we kind of get our design all tidied up, we then consult with our dev team to assess the feasibility and estimate the effort. And then I complete the preview doc. I do want to point out quickly in the feature preview folder, that's the main purpose of that folder, but I will post questions. I don't know if a lot of you saw, but I posted a little document for the compliance session later today with some questions to kind of get your wheels spinning for that session later today. And then last year, I also posted an outline of the Deb and TC dates or the amplified UDFs that we did with like, what was it, 180 steps for a successful release. So I do want to point out that sometimes I throw stuff in there and it's not just all feature modification ideas out there. So that's the ProLink side of the process. The next side is your piece of the pie, if you will. So
I'll post the Word document out there. You should get notified on the Work Center. And I usually post a very high level comment on what that feature is and when we want feedback by. So then you guys will review and provide that feedback. Sometimes we evaluate the feedback and we may make updates to those feature preview docs. And then we kind of repeat that cycle until the date's passed and we have stopped receiving feedback. So then we, once that is complete and we have the final design, we move that feature to development. Typically when I post these into the folders, we're planning to do them within the next 1 to 2 quarters. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes there's other things that move in, fires happen. So, and then once development's done, it goes through our UAT. This is the UAT testing period where you guys can then go in your UAT environments, test the new feature, and continue to provide feedback. If it's not working the way that you think it should work, or there's something that doesn't feel right, we want to hear that feedback. We want a good user experience. Once we go through that testing phase, we then release to prod. And we typically release these items on the quarterly release, the February, May, August, November. So that's when they usually go to UAT. Sometimes, I don't know if you noticed, this last time we pushed it all in mid-quarter. So be mindful of that. Usually that's B-Dub's fault. Yes.
As an agency, if I am looking at a preview doc and I don't understand the functionality, or I think that I have a lot of questions, can I ask you for a meeting that we could go through the preview doc together? Is that an option?
Yes.
You want to feed that question into the room?
Yes.
And I'll give everybody your number.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely. If you have questions, please reach out. Like, we want you to review these. That's the whole point of them. And we have a couple of really big ones coming up this year. Actually, I think like 4.
The other question, would you prefer, because I do it both ways, would you prefer we comment on the document in Procorum or we send an email directly to you?
I like the comments on Procorum, if you are comfortable with that, but I also realize that everybody sees your comments. So if you're more comfortable emailing me directly, that is an option too. Because I understand, I wouldn't want to post my comments out there if I wasn't sure I was right. All right, let's see. Okay, so these are our expectations of you. And it's kind of been mentioned, but we want you to review these documents thoroughly. Please ask questions, share it with the other stakeholders within your division. So compliance, development, anybody that needs to know about these new features. Provide feedback by the deadline. And then test when the feature goes to UAT. The more feedback we receive, the more efficient and the higher quality the feature will be. Does anybody have any questions on that whole process or the expectations? That all makes sense. I think that's what we're doing now. So just a quick overview. All right. So I want to go over a little bit of spring cleaning that I did in the feature preview doc. I don't know if you've noticed, but it looks a little lighter out there now, and hopefully for the better. I did this to make it easier for you guys to navigate these folders, but also I've been putting comments on them when they're completed or if they're not moving forward. So this will really hopefully drive a better visual into where everything is in the cycle. So if you come out there, there's going to be only a couple of year labeled folders now. So that's anything that's not been completed through dev or needs reviewed. There's a completed folder and a not moving forward folder. In the completed folder, you'll find probably the last 1 to 2 years worth of feature previews that are out there, and then I'll move them to the archive folder. The archive folder, I will note, I tried to go back as far as I could, but things that were like 5, 6, 7 years ago, I don't know if they're out there or not, and they might have been redone at some point as well. So just know that if you don't see a date on there, it's probably out there, but it's probably obsolete. So here's where I'll put, hopefully that's big enough. I'll put the date on the completed items and it'll correspond with the production release date. So then you can go and look this up in release notes. Please look at release notes and the preview doc, because like I said, if we get feedback and we tweak that design during UAT, I don't go back and update the feature preview docs. We release the release notes, and that will give the full picture of what we completed through development. And then on the items not moving forward, I will put a reason why it's not moving forward. We have a couple that are out there, and we're actually going to go over that later, but so you'll see those and why. And if you have any questions about why it's not moving forward, please let us know. Any questions on the cleanup? All right. I'm going to hand it over to Andrea O now.
Okay.
Just hit the arrow, click it.
So, as I mentioned, I'm responsible for the self-support content, and we're going to talk about what all that entails today. So from release notes, help content, videos, all the resources that are available to you and the users of the products. I want to talk about where you can find things and when updates are available. Release notes are published with the UAT releases. They'll always be available on the Zendesk support site, support.prolinksolutions.com. Andrea B posts a link in the user group work center to those at the UAT release. That's the top screenshot. It's in the what's new category. There's release notes there for Procorum and HFA, Budget Pro. All of those are out there. So at a minimum, they'll be there. They're also in the, typically in most cases, they'll also be on the product work center or product help center. So the link from the product that opens in the help content, there is a section for release notes there too. ProLinkHFA includes the tenant portal updates and the supportive services rent roll app updates. Procorum has Procorum specific updates. Eventually, we'll have a Procorum and Inspect app help center. We do have the help center, but it's kind of beta content right now, and we will be doing release notes once we get into a regular release cycle with that one too. Budget Pro doesn't have its own release notes since it's sort of a separate entity. And then with the prod release, I do publish a Word version of the release notes. So that should incorporate any updates that happen between. So if there was a rebuild or anything, that gets incorporated. The Word version is posted on the user group work center for you as well. It's pretty basic in formatting, but it's just meant if you want to copy paste some information out there. But for the best presentation of like the images and GIFs and whatnot, go to the online version. I think I covered that all. For help content, so that's when the release notes give you this high level picture of what's coming out in that release. Then it gets incorporated into all of the help content, new help pages or updated help pages for everyday reference. The help content hopefully will be where you can go learn about the application, business use cases, how to solve certain problems if you have questions about how to use something, how to make the most of the software. That's where we want you to go first. One of the best ways to access it is from the product help center itself, from the links. pretty hard to see here. But in HFA, there's a help link at the top. And then it'll open the help center. In Procorum, your drop down up there in the corner, there's a help link there that can get you to the help center. Tenant portal and the various Procorum apps is usually at the bottom of the page, has a specific link there. The help is also published to the Zendesk support guide. A login is required for that. But that's content, it's the same content, just different presentation of it. So we have our ProLinkHFA Help Center, that's for all the agency users. The Procorum Help Center, that's intended for agency users and your agency partners, for them to go know how to use that. And then the Budget Pro Help Center, again, agency users and agency partners. We are in the process of updating the Procorum Help Center. It's out there now with the updates. It's going to encompass Procorum, Tenant Portal, Procorum Inspect, and Supportive Services Rent Roll. At this time, Budget Pro is going to stay its own external help center, but the Procorum Help Center will include those other apps to kind of become your one-stop shop. Search will be more seamless. You can search across the various content and the products, and links should be more reliable. Eventually, so right now the Tenant Portal and Supportive Services Rent Roll do have their existing external help centers out there still, but those will be retired eventually, and the links will point to the landing page in the Procorum Help Center that goes to the specific area of that sub area. So those updates do get out at the prod release typically.
That's one question. What, I'm making, what is Budget Pro again? What is that?
I'll let someone else speak to it.
To be continued. It's a construction budget tool for requesting draws
Okay.
during construction. We'll talk about it more. Sorry, I'm not on my mic. I can tell you more about it. Okay.
All right. I wanted to point out too, there are a number of ways to navigate within the help centers once you're in there. There is search on the home page at the top box. Once you're in a content page, above the table of contents on that left side, there's a little search area too you can use to search throughout the content. And then you'll get a list of results and select what seems the most appropriate. You can also use that left navigation panel in the help centers to help guide you. It lists every single topic, all the subtopics. And then some of the longer help pages have this mini TOC on the right side. That'll jump you around on that specific page if it's a long section and there's lots of different topics within a topic. Then within ProLinkHFA, it is context sensitive help. So if you click a link in the product for the help, it's going to open the page, should open the page that is specific to that help topic. The one limitation is data view type pages all share the same base page name. So it's going to go to the database overview, but then you can use search and navigation to get around from there. In HFA, there's also a link at the bottom of the pages to provide feedback. We want to make this your tool. We want you to use this. We want your users to use this. We want it to be helpful. So if you have feedback on a particular topic, please do share if it needs improvement, needs to be corrected, if you have an example you want to share with us, that would be helpful for users in there. You know, if it's appropriate for a wide audience, we are going to try to include it. Clicking that opens an email. It creates a support ticket. Jessica will assign it to me or send it to me, depending on how large it is, how much time we have before the next release. I try to work it as soon as I can and get it in for the next release if I can. And then in the last couple of years, we've been trying to introduce more video content. There's all kinds of learners. We want to provide as many channels and opportunities for learning as possible. So we're trying to include more of that video content for users. It's not tied, the content isn't necessarily tied to a release, but we do publish it at a release schedule. So it's going to, you'll see new videos potentially with a UAT or a production release. But it's going to be kind of a video that hopefully gives a view of a specific chunk of content. For example, how to set up risk or how to run. Once you have that set up, there's another video on risk, creating a risk assessment and walking through that entire process. The video will be embedded in the help page that's specific to that content. So in the risk review help topic, there's a video for that that's related to that. But there's also an Academy section, which is like our library of videos. So there's an Academy library in HFA Help Center and in the Procorum Help Center so that you can see all the videos that are available. So. And then lastly, I just want to walk through some of the examples of what you might find. This is not exhaustive by any means, but some of the things we wanted to highlight. So in HFA, we have a list of missing requirements and compliance exceptions, which can be helpful during compliance reviews. So why did an exception get thrown? You can come look it up. Let's see, we're trying to include more infographics and quick references like this on that bottom left side. In the Procorum Help Center, explaining roles in Procorum, which can be kind of tricky to understand, but we wanted to give a quick glance at that. So there's more, trying to incorporate more of that in there. In the Procorum Help Center, there is also a Procorum for Partners training video. Now, a lot of agencies might have their own resources for partners, and that's awesome. If you don't, though, we're trying to provide you material that you can share with your partners. So this is a video. It's actually being refreshed, so hopefully by the end of May, early June, there will be an updated video. But it's an overview of Procorum, getting started, what's a work center, how do you download a file, upload a file, things like that. And then the last example there is in the Tenant Portal Help Center. We have a list of some common XML errors that can be helpful for your partners on understanding why an import didn't work. So, and there is a video too at that part of the help that explains some of the common errors. And I believe that's all I had. There are specific questions. Also, I'm here for the conference, so if you want a demo or walk through any of the help content, I'd be happy to look at it with you. Thank you.
Andrea. Health centers, making sure you have the resources you need to support your users is important to us, and she does an amazing job at keeping up with it. We have a huge application, as you guys know. So if you ever come across an area where you're like, I need more than what's here, please give us that feedback and we will prioritize it. That really does help us. So just keep that in mind as well. There's pages on everything, but if you're like focused on an area and you need more examples, you need more resources, please share that with us and we will dump it on you, give you the latest and greatest and prioritize that with, enhancements we need to make with our help center. All right.
Okay. And so we quickly wanted to go over the customer support process and the ticket process. So many of you enter your tickets by sending us an email at support@prolinksolutions.com or using that web widget within the actual application. So that creates our ticket. What that we do now in customer service is we troubleshoot the issue to verify the issue with the client. We ask you additional questions. We may try to replicate it to decide if it's some sort of client issue where we could send a script in to kind of resolve it, or if it's a bug that needs to go to our dev team. We then create that ticket internally with either our professional services team or our product and development team. And then depending on where that might go, if it's professional services, normally those can kind of be resolved pretty quickly because it's just a script that normally can just go into the system really quickly and resolve your problem. And then if it's a product development, it's usually a bug that will have to be resolved with the next quarterly release, just an FYI. And that all leads to your overall resolution of your support ticket. A couple of things we did want to point out with support tickets is we want to make sure you guys are giving us the correct information when it comes to helping you resolve that problem. So letting us know priority of the issue will really help us kind of define whether or not it's an urgent issue that we need to kind of get the entire team on right away. Things like how many people are affected. So if you're getting like an error where you are, a bug of an error or something like that, and you're seeing like 20 people in my agency are affected by that, we definitely want to get on that really quickly and resolve that for you. Some things like they're unable to log into Procorum. A lot of those issues are they have to log out and log back in. Sometimes there's a cache issue. So those things are usually pretty simple to resolve. And kind of also, if it's coming from external partners, letting them know to let us know where they're related to, what agency they're related to, can really help us resolve and look into that problem as well. And then kind of want to just go over some support metrics. Here you can see between 2024 and 2025, between January and March 30th of each year. The created tickets were very similar. 2024, 696, 621 for 2025. Our one-touch support ticket rate, meaning we resolve that ticket within 3 business days, is very similar. And our first reply time between the 2 years, very similar as well. We have seen ourselves increase for full resolution time on tickets. And one thing we've done internally to combat that is to provide ticket reporting to both our professional services and our product dev team to make sure that they're able to stay on top of those tickets that have been open for a little bit of time to make sure those resolutions are getting to you guys as quickly as possible. And we've also started to implement providing you all with your ticket information on your MBRs on a quarterly basis. So we'll go over what things are open currently in the system right now, and then what of those tickets we're waiting on a reply from, say, the client, and what things we're waiting on our product dev or professional services team. Any questions on the ticket process at all? No? I'll hand it over to Bree.
All right, last one. Thanks, guys. So oftentimes, especially with our new agencies who might be going through implementation, I am asked who should be involved in these monthly business reviews, who should be involved in supporting ProLink, what kind of effort does that take? It really depends on agency, size is a big factor, right? But I think in general, the same concept exists whether you have individual representatives from your company who are filling each of these priorities, or you have like a one person who kind of oversees everything for ProLink concept in your agency. The people who are working with us directly on a regular basis, you guys sitting in this room, what we are focused on doing is optimizing our operational excellence, our software adoption, and a lasting partnership. Right? Those are like the 3 big things that we're here to accomplish together. I think Maine originally came up with this very good, I need to rename the MBRs to the POET meetings instead of monthly business reviews. But ProLink Operational Excellence Team was something that came up out of the Maine implementation. And we think it's a great kind of descriptor for this group. And you, this team of representatives that liaison with us and support those users, you guys handle a lot of different, concerns and needs of your agency. Generally, we like to see representation across all departments. If a department isn't using ProLink, but it's on the agency's roadmap that the department does use ProLink, it's great to see representation there to get people familiar with our products and get resources from us. But you're going to see things like process gaps and challenges, training needs, technical gaps, root cause, all those things come up through our meetings. That's really what those monthly business reviews are meant to support and help with. And then together we come up with what you see, this little section down here is kind of the solutions that we work on together in customer success to address those things. If you have any need to kind of get advice or feedback from other agencies on who should be involved and how to set your guys up for success, or kind of just ramp up your adoption needs of ProLinkHFA, we'd love to have that conversation with you. During this conference, this is a lot of information, so I'm going to leave this with you to reflect on later. Mainly, it's an expansion on what the previous slide shared, and really getting down to like the specific roles, whether that one person manages multiple roles as that ProLink representative, or you have separate roles within your organization. We want to make sure you have guidance and understanding on how to set yourselves up for success and long-term adoption. So generally, I think the most important thing with our MBRs is making sure that there is that person, that executive or management sponsor who kind of leads the group. And that can, sometimes that's one person that I meet with monthly. Sometimes that's one person involved with an entire team that I meet with monthly. But that really drives our ability to kind of make changes, be proactive with each other, and follow your roadmap and meet your needs more directly on a regular basis. Okay, so if you have any questions on that piece, we'd love to talk to you about it. Otherwise, I think we're just past time and we're going to take our first break. So thank you so much for joining us for our welcome session. I think there's like refreshments and snacks right across the hall, and then bathrooms are down this way. And we'll get started with our next one. Let's see what time. 15 minutes from now.